Faculty of Sciences at Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Vishwa Mahavidyalaya, Chennai. Madam has done her UG and PG from GAMC, Bangalore. She has headed the Department of Stri Roga, Kaumara Bhritya, and she has also served as the head of the Department for PG Studies in Dravya Guna, Government Ayurvedic Medical College, Bangalore. She has presented around 85 national and international papers. She has been a resource person to more than 35 workshops, ROTPs and CMEs. She has organized about 10 symposium, national seminars and CMEs. She has been awarded with Indira Priyadarshini Award, New Delhi, Vaidya Shri by Clinical Society, Mysore, Sanjeevani Swasthya Ratna by Prakriti, Professor Emeritus from Gadag.
A few minutes journey, what is that Ayurveda can give to achieve a total life cycle approach of health of women. We know the women are not confined to the kitchen now, so they have come out. You can see them in every field. That's what this says about. And in every girl, we also see an elderly lady too. That's what this picture says about. So, if you want to prevent old age, if you want to take care of other phases of life, the foundation starts in the initial stage itself. So Ayurveda has identified the special features of each phase, and understanding this phase and the individual with the constitution can plan a better health approach. That's what this speaks about, because in the early childhood it is a progressive growth, and then there is a nil growth. After that there is a depletion. So keeping this in view, we need to plan. That's what the virtue of Ayurveda we can observe. Now in each phases, we have specific paricharyas, or the care which is taken here. I have to keep moving here and there. Okay, no problem. So it starts with Navajata Paricharya. Of course, there may be no difference between a male and a female baby, but still we have a reference in Ayurveda stating that if the baby is a female, the Abhyanga, the oil massage to the mother is given oil. And if the baby is a male, the Abhyanga or the massage given to the mother is ghee. So in that way, they were so keen in looking at the responses, though it appears to be unexplainable in the present era. Then total care of the child up to the care of the puberty. Next we have in Tarunyavastha, the second or the middle age, wherein it starts with Rajaswala Paricharya, that is care during periods. Of course, they are all said and done. Many of things cannot be practiced at present, but still some of them could be adapted even today. But whenever it comes to Ahara, Vihara and Vichara, these are the three important factors, and if this is adapted according to the Ayurvedic principles, definitely we can achieve the total health care. Then this is the period where it starts with conception and the related phase of pregnancy care, and then after the delivery, the care of the postnatal, all these will start. And in each phase, we have a specific approach that I'll come to it later. Then coming to Praudhavastha, this is the age. Lady doesn't become aged or elderly, but she is entering slowly into the geriatric phase. So initially, nowadays, the menopausal syndrome has become so much spoken about. Everyone wants to know about the recipes. Everyone wants to have some of the other managements with some of the other problems during this period, which has to have been a physiological phase. Like a girl, a playful girl enters into the puberty. Even a menopause should have been a physiological one wherein she need not suffer. But this is going to be this has happened to be a total state of pathology wherein the lady suffers a lot. But Ayurveda has an answer here. Before the onset of menopause, what you can say that premenopausal stage, there itself, if you know the constitution of the lady, you can assess what is the complications during menopause she may come across and how it could be managed, how it could be prevented. So from there, the care starts in, and the related Vardhakya Jara Chikitsa geriatric is the phase wherein we can use of these rasayanas and other medications which can take care. So finally, we can see that Ayurveda can provide a life cycle approach, which is a very recent concept in the National Health Program. But Ayurveda ages before, thousands of years earlier, mentioned about the total life cycle care as far as the health is concerned. It starts before the baby is born, even like selecting a couple, selecting a companion. And then before the conception, it continues the care of the child entering into a healthy puberty. And during this puberty, special, it is already has the roots in Indian families, wherein a girl enters into pubertical stage. She is given specific foods. She is made to have specific activities. And she is made to learn new things, whether it is a behavior, attitudinal, whatever. So from there, it starts with, and then again, we have special rasayana therapies during this period. Most commonly used is Shatavari, the Asparagus racemosus, and Ashwagandha withenia somnifera, etc. As she enters into adulthood, then she enters into marital status. From there, the pregnancy care starts in. Then the care of the mother, lactating mother, because it is Ayurveda alone which speaks about the Stanya Dushti, wherein the breast milk can get vitiated by the three most important principles, Tridoshas. And based on that, the management is also been explained. No other system of medicine would speak about this. This is very, very unique you get in the science of Ayurveda, and thereby treating the mother instead of the child to prevent and to cure. Then we have the menopausal and postmenopausal stage, and then some of the diseases related in this particular phase and their management, and throughout managing the gynecological diseases. And Ayurveda has a wonderful answer in the management of infertility, the management of premenstrual syndrome, the management of many other things, almost for all, excepting the surgery. It has its own limitation at times. Now, when we speak of lifestyle, it has got only three important components, ahara, vihara, and vichara. It depends upon choices and balances. Choice is the person who makes. Balance is when she is given a guidance, what should be done to balance and how one has to choose. Then here is a pyramid for adolescent girl based on Ayurveda, framed, which starts with special or specific recipes given during this particular phase of life. Nowadays we see the young girls going for junk foods. But I feel the mothers and the community, if they take care, provide the special foods for these young girls, definitely they are going to achieve total health. Next we have the skillful utilization of various therapeutic measures. It could be a simple herbal medicine, or it could be a herbo-mineral medicine, or a periodical detoxification through Panchakarma procedures, and the Basti Chikitsa, which are the specific Chikitsa, or the therapeutic module in the management of various diseases of gynecological disorders. And a rejuvenation therapy doesn't mean that when everything gets depleted, you start the rejuvenation therapy. But in the early childhood itself, it could be started, and various forms of oils on the scalp. People will be wondering, when they come for an infertility, I speak them that they should have some oil poured into the nostrils. So that is a speciality Ayurveda can provide, a very, very unique approach wherein it can care every phase of life too. And coming to eugenesis in Ayurveda, we have, all of us know about the samskaras also. It starts before the conception itself, right from the selection of a counterpart, the matching, the family, then the genetics, all those things. They were looked upon through the astrological means and also through study of the families. Most importantly, it's very well understood that the lifestyle of the parents has a very greater impact on the child who is going to be born. That's what the shloka says about Yastri Pumanshteva Jirne Hitamitashanau. So they give so much importance to the dietetics and to the lifestyle of the parents, which is going to have a very vital role played in achieving a baby, a progeny, which is more healthy, and then when they say Chakshushman Bhava, all the sensory organs are intact, and then the Varna, the color, speaks about the total health of the individual. So, Viparyaye Vartamano Viparitan. So, when this parental lifestyle is not healthy, definitely one cannot expect a progeny to be healthy. So, that's what the eugenesis starts before the conception occurs. Now, here again, the preparation of the couple is most important. It starts with, again, a detoxification therapy like Panchakarma Shodhana, then the oleation, the sedation, then Basti Chikitsa, transrectal administration of medicine, and gender-specific ahara, food specific to male and to the female. Then the most important, observing celibacy before deciding to conceive. Then counseling, because it's the only science which says Sauma Garbhadharanam Saumanaskita. The very pleasant state of mind is very, very important in conceiving. So most of the times they are so eager and tensed up that itself becomes a reason for not conceiving. So it starts from the counseling of the couple. Then we have Pumsavana is another specialized area in Ayurveda for eugenesis. Though it is practiced for the opted child, opted sex of the child, it is not just for the sex. We cannot change the sex once it is formed. So it starts even prior to the conception. So it's also most important for stabilizing. When we speak of habitual abortions and all, this is the one which is going to be of much use. And these are the few plants I have shown here, which are used in. Of course, that itself is a bigger topic. I'm just, as in the keynote, just pointing out about these things. And when it comes to Garbhini Charya or the antenatal care, Ayurveda never speaks about replacement of some vitamins, calcium or minerals, etc. It has got its own very specialized approach, which has totally based on the factors which are very, very important, and host factors which are going to maintain the pregnancy till term without complications, and to enhance or encourage the lady to have a normal delivery, which we don't find at all nowadays. All of us know it very well. So these are the few important principles which Ayurveda focuses on. So when I speak about Vata, we would be giving an enema with a Grita, and that's going to protect the fetus, improve the weight of the fetus, maturity of the fetus, etc., etc. So in that way, the total Ayurvedic Garbhini Charya and antenatal care is entirely based on specific principles, and which I am practicing for the last 35 years. And most importantly, the bala, the stamina, both mental and physical. Here is only one slide I am just sharing with you, which speaks about wherever you are, be in Europe, be in Africa, or be in a remote village of a country. These are the most important factors to be considered. Deshakalagni matranam na kuryat vyadikramam. So whatever the food, whatever the medicine, whatever the activity is scheduled, based on these four factors, they need to be planned and scheduled. And another important area is the month-wise specific food advocated in Ayurveda. It's not a state of pathology, all of us know it. So it doesn't mean that every time we need to drug the antenatal cases always. So it's only the monthly regime which can enhance a very healthy growth of the fetus and also take the total care of the mother. That's most important what we are looking at in the antenatal care. So this is what in month-wise specific thing to be given. Like they are very simple. One of them, this Tribulus terrestris, given during the 3rd trimester. We did a study on this in collaboration with Vanivilas Hospital. wherein it was found that only with this, a small weed boiled with milk and given was able to bring in all the necessary required fulfillment in this phase of pregnancy. What more we need? We don't need any other different specific vitamins or minerals to be substituted. Almost all my antenatal cases will have this. And there is a pyramid developed by me during pregnancy, what could be given, and this pyramid speaks about the quantity to be given to. I'm just browsing faster because I need to save the time. So now coming to virtues of Ayurveda, it is a pre-conceptual treatment of the couple is a very, very unique thing we have in Ayurveda. If this is adopted, we can think of a healthy generation. That is what we need to focus, though it appears to be a very long-term strategy. I think this is what we need to do. And if you are able to prove this, reprove this, because as a practitioner, I'm happy with that. But if you want the statistical data and to reprove it, you can do research on it. But it cannot go into a national health program only by one component of it. The whole of the management should go into national health programs. Similarly, adaptation of various therapies, n number of therapies, be it local, internal, topical, whatever. Then we have reproving the phase-specific approach. This is what, when we speak of the challenges we have as Ayurvedists, we need to work it out. Instead of taking up, mimicking, like Shankabhasma has got calcium, so you just replace it with calcium. It's not at all essential. Then we have principle-oriented approach throughout, be it postnatal, prenatal, antenatal, or whatever. Then management of gynec diseases, again, never going away or deviating from the principles and then treating them. Then, see, when in a gynec disease, we may not start with the symptomatic treatment. We would start with something different, like, nasal administration of medicine or administration of oil on the scalp, like that. Or it could be an, basti chikitsa or a transrectal administration of medication, or it could be even transuterine administration, what we call as Uttarabasti. Then add-on therapies is the most important one nowadays, because I'm doing a little bit of work on CA cases. Chronic CA cases which are terminal or which are recurrent or which are non-responsive. So in such cases, we can definitely give them quality of life, and that's what they need, apart from counseling. And that can be given very effectively from our system. And this need to be encouraged, then only we'll be able to achieve something. So finally, I would say, Strihi Moolamapatyanam Strihi Rakshati Rakshita. So whatever said and done, nowadays we are realizing how important women health is. But this was a reference from Ashtanga Sangraha about 4,000 years back, mentioned that if you care a woman, she is going to care the whole community. So that's what I would like to say. The take-home message is Strihi Rakshati Rakshita. Try to protect her, and Shri in turn protects the whole world, not just a community. With this, Ayurveda is an experiential knowledge. It may not give you a number, but it's being practiced, people going for that, and sustainability itself speaks about validity. So for a practitioner of Ayurveda, we don't need a revalidation, but if it is to be observed in terms of data, of statistics, then you can have. But the thing is, certain things could be proved with the modern diagnostic tools and modern parameters, and that is what we need to work out. It's valuable in the past, pertinent for the present, and going to be indispensable for the future. So the life cycle approach is pre-conceptual. At the end, I would like to say, conclude, life cycle approach does not start after the life starts. It starts before the life starts. With that, I conclude. Thank you.